Hello World, it's the pod layer proof of concept demo team doing what we do, which is tracking the mojo phenomenon, the human qualia phenomenon, and showing the methodology that we use to do so. We're having a normal 3-act structure. Act 1, fundamentals, where we show physiological cues, usually through pictures and collages, and associate the descriptive words that we use to note them. Then in Act 2, our intermediate portion is the main proof of concept. That's where the team has had a week under blind test conditions to look at 5 to 10 samples and see what they can come up with the cohesion accuracy for the group will be. And the more challenging samples for the team will spend some time reviewing. This week it came from Neomegas. And then the advanced portion, we're going to do a live read in real time where people can see the Podlayer team doing what we do on an actual read and see how we ask questions, make inquiries, kind of weigh things back and forth. And the dialogue they're having amongst each other is the same dialogue each individual Mojo reader is having inside their own psyche. And that will also come from Neomegas. He gave us 2. We have time, we'll do both. All right, introductions, we'll get started. I am Nai Coach.
I am Shiny.
I'm Zai Neodemus.
And this is Naiji Glenn.
Take it away.
Yeah, excellent. So we are going into the TV show pop culture timeline. We are currently moving our way through the 2010 through 2014 TV show timeline, and we're going to pick back up with Wilfred. And normal protocols are in place. Coach will start us off. We'll go round robin, reading off the show descriptions and the mojo of the casts.
Excellent. Wilfred, we saw a bit of this. I don't think I saw all the seasons, but I know me, Charlene, and Demas watched a few of these. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
The story of a manic depressive man who inexplicably is the only one who can see his neighbor's dog as a full-grown man in a dog suit. The story of the story of Ryan, a depressed man who believes he's getting nowhere in life and plans to kill himself. In the middle of his attempted suicide, he is asked to watch his neighbor's dog, Wilfred, but Ryan can only see Wilfred as a real person instead of an animal that everyone else sees. As they begin to bond more and become friends, Wilfred teaches Ryan a life lesson about people, love, and living.
Nijai Elijah Wood as Ryan Newman. As the Nijai thing you'll see here, and particularly in this picture on the left, very pronounced, his dancing eyes, which come from Ni, which is his first power. So it has a very open, receptive quality to it, drinking in of those patterns. It has a, we call also a laughing quality to it, so open, drinking, receptive. That comes from the Ni. Here on the right-hand side, he's doing a bit of his polar power, which will show in his eyes as well, and that's the power of Vi. And that has a more concerned look, prepared look, as he's looking off into the distance, and that's kind of what we call 1,000-yard staring, and that's when someone is in both of their subjective powers, which in the case of the Nijai would be the power of Jai and Vi.
Nijai Jason Gone as Wilfred. Oh yes, of course. So as a Nijai, they are Jai mojos. So Jai is the second power, but it's still momentum. So what that means is, or at least how this is going to look in the Jez Gather, is they're going to have an apple-cheeked quality, which means the facial fascia, the flexations of their facial fascia goes up past the midline into the cheeks, not into the eyes, just below the eyes, but into the cheeks. And that gives their cheeks kind of this soft, puffy, what we call kind of apple-cheeked quality. Shows that it's kind of has kind of a tender fascia ready to be able to emote. Their emoting is also unaware, which you can see on the left picture, for instance, where he has kind of the slackness in his jaw. It's particularly energy coming from the lower lip. So when he gets into resonating, then you begin to see an unaware slackness beginning to open up on the bottom jaw.
All right, this is Nijai Fiona Gubelman. And so Nijai, quite a few now, They have Z as their offside power, so you can see that in the picture on the right, more so than the one on the left, she's not emoting as much, and so it does make the neutralizing effect look more. And you can see that there's an anvil quality in the cheeks, and it gives off this sort of bracing quality as well. And I get the impression she's doing a maybe like some kind of channeling, but she's got quite a bit of Z going on there, I think, as well, uh, because her emoting is not going up. But you can still see that the Jai is still tandem, and it's still giving her some minor momentum, and you can see fine flexations going all the way up her cheeks and right below the eyes. But she mainly has that sort of like very steely look with the Z, giving that bracing quality, especially on the picture on the left or on the right. But she is Nijai, so she is a Jez Mojo.
Shiny, Dorian Brown. Okay, comparing this to the Nijai we've seen previously, she also has the knee dancing eyes, the diffuse laughing quality, and also the Jai emoting inward, reactive emoting, unaware expressions. But the main difference is that the emoting goes all the way up the face into the eyes. So even, for example, on the right where she's doing some articulating, so she's using more Z, there's still a tone to the face. Always there's a tone throughout the face. It's a question of how much and what the tone is.
Jinai Chris Klein. Jinai, they are the inspirational of the Chinese, so they'll have their lead discerners and their discernment power or momentum discernment power is a values based, which means that for them, for Jinai, the emotive expression will radiate out of the mouth and will travel all the way up the face and into the eyes, eye area as well. Their emotive power is G, and it has to do with moving social dynamics. So for them, their expression is aware. So at all times, they're signaling to their audience kind of what they want the audience to see in terms of what they're expressing emotively.
Nizai, Allison, Mac. The Nizai are, okay, so they're also Ni Alpha, like the Nijai, but they're not going to have that apple cheek quality because they are logic-based, but more in particular, they have G. So the Nizai have aware motive expression. So you can see on the left that the energy is coming from the lower lip. It kind of creates this upward arced smile that she has. But it doesn't go into the cheeks. It doesn't go past the cheeks. The cheeks remain sheer because of the fact that she's logic-based. So that gives her a Cheshire cat quality to her smile. So it kind of fills just below the cheeks, creating that crescent look, but it stops right there. It can be very wide, but it doesn't go into the cheeks. Cheshire cat.
Is it the lower lip or is it the upper lip?
Upper.
Yeah.
G.
Right, Workaholics. A single camera comedy featuring three friends who work together as telemarketers from 9 to 5 and live together from 5 to 9.
Naiji Blake Anderson. Okay, so Naiji, that's new. All right, so Naiji are Jez hunters, which means they have that unique quality of very engaging G, an aware emoting that knows the camera is there, knows an audience is paying attention even when they're alone, but it goes up above the midline because Jez hunters are values-based, but they are perceivers, so it does not go into the eyes, always there piercing through. And it's interesting here because he has a very comedic look to his face, but still, those are hunting eyes piercing through his comedic facade.
Nizai, Adam Devine. Nizai, again, they'll have that power of Ni as their first one, so the dancing eyes, that will have the most energy in their facial expression. In both pictures, He has sort of on the left-hand side more of a bemused sort of look. You see a little bit of the emotive expression activating here. It doesn't go into the cheeks though. On the left-hand side, he has more of a momentum look where that'll come from the Zai, which is the power of a logic-based power, so so neutralizing the emotive expression, and it gives sort of a sheared cheek look to the Nizai.
Nizai Anders Holm.
Nai-Z Maribeth Monroe. All right, so Nai-Z is new. They're similar to the Nai Alpha, to the Nai-G, because they're both Nai Alpha, and have that cunning look in their eyes. You can see in both pictures that you can see the cunning quality, the hoodenness that comes from that. But unlike the Nai-G, they have Z as their tandem power and Zhai as their offside. And you can see that there's quite a bit of emoting that she uses with her Zhai in both pictures. One on the left is a little bit more happy, a little bit more pleased, sort of kind of like positive energy, and the one on the right is a little bit more like she's confused. She's got a little bit more of a Nai, kind of like I'm kind of frustrated. I don't understand. And also the Zhai, especially you can see in the bottom lip, it's kind of like a little bit. It's kind of tucking away underneath the upper lip, which is an interesting look. It's an unaware kind of a cue, and it's very interesting because Zhai just kind of like has those kinds of movements to it, in which it kind of just does what it does, and the user who has the Zhai is not always aware of how it's moving and interact, or just like doing its thing. Whereas G is aware, and for the Nai G, they're able to use it and use it to push and get what it wants to get done in the environment by moving the dynamics in that way.
Here we go. Zenai Jillian Bell. All right. So the Zenai is the other Dursur, directive cerebral. So they also have the combination of Z and Nai, with Z going first. So kind of relating them also to the Zenai, where they have the helmet of caring. The Zenai have a helmet of bracing. And so that chilly amble quality, you kind of see it on the left. That's sort of like a base expression. She has a sort of active listing going on. And there's just a sort of flat, full-faced bracing quality, but with the cunning eyes back there. But the cunning eyes are also still tinged by that bracingness. Then on the right, she's doing more Zhai and also a little bit of a V percuss, so more of her modulation adaptive powers, but still the Z bracing stays there the entire time as the overall pervasive signal.
Nizai Eric Griffin.
Naiji Kyle Newcheck.
Mm-hmm.
Nijai Waymond Lee. Is Nijai Mill new?
No, we've done that one.
Okay.
Hatfields and McCoys. Dramatization of the bitter blood feud between the two families on the West Virginia-Kentucky border in the years after the Civil War. A clash of plans that evoked great passion, vengeance, courage, sacrifice, crimes, and accusations, which changed the families and the history of the region forever. The Hatfield-McCoy saga begins with Devil Ance Hatfield and Randall McCoy, close friends and comrades until near the end of the Civil War. They returned to their neighboring homes, Hatfield, West Virginia. McCoy just crossed the Tug River border in Kentucky. To increasing tensions, misunderstandings, and resentments that soon explode into an all-out warfare between the families. As hostilities grow, friends, neighbors, and outside forces join the fight, bringing the two states to the brink of another Civil War.
Nizy Kevin Costner. So Nizy, we did Nizy Lady above. He'll have similar cues in a male. So here, both pictures, you'll see in the eyes the Nai, which gives a cunning look to the eyes. Also, he's here on the left-hand side picture. You can see him looking at the camera, so you see the piercingness as the Nai takes in the the subject that he's looking at. Here on the right-hand side picture, it's more of a soulful, far-away look. And in both pictures, the eye will have this diffuse sort of quality to it. Since he has Z as his second power, that will mean that his momentum will be a logic-based discernment power, and so neutralizing of his emotive expression is momentum for him, and for him particularly, it'll be with the Z, so that will come with the anvil cheeks and expression, and his emotive expression, even though he has sort of a still face on both pictures. He's not really emoting, but if he were to emote and you were to look at those kinds of pictures, you won't see it coming above the midline of his face.
Gina, Bill Paxton.
Gina and Matt Barr.
Naiji, Tom Berenger.
Naizi, Powers Booth.
Nizy, Andrew Howard.
Shiny, Jenna Malone.
Nizai, Sarah Parrish.
Nizai, Lindsay Pulsifer.
Nizy, Robert Vibert.
Shiny, Joe Absalom.
And shiny males are new.
Oh, okay, shiny males are new. Okay, so yeah, you can definitely see in both pictures, or especially the one on the left, he's got the unifield face, and it acts as a sort of like a veil quality of poignancy that goes all the way from the top of his head all the way to the bottom of his chin there. And it has this very strong emotive tone to it that comes from the Zhai being source, and an unaware quality as well. But the eyes, they're kind of a little bit. They also have that veil covering them as well, but they are dancing as well at the same time, and you can see the dancing quality in both pictures. But I think on the one on the right, there's a little bit more of like a Vi intensity to it, because he's acting a certain character there, and he's trying to look more serious, look more intense, and the Zhai is definitely bringing in with the lips. There's like a tucking in, like biting of the lip, and sort of like emotional tone there and quality that he is maybe not aware of entirely, and it adds this sort of overall tone to his to his like his look and what and you can read that, and you can pick up on that as emoji.
Shiny, Noel Fisher.
Naiji, Boyd Holbrook.
Nijai, Tom McKay.
That Naiji up there. He plays in with the one with Pablo Escobar. Anyway, he's a cop in that one.
Interesting.
Gina, Sam Reed.
Nijai, Mayor Winningham.
Naizi, Greg Patmore.
Sofri.
Naiji, John Bell.
Shiny, Nick Dunning. With the males, you can see all the romantics in this.
Sure.
Nice. Full spread. Shiny, Katie Griffiths.
The Men Who Built America. Miniseries shines. Looks like this one doesn't have the images yet, so I will skip that one. I will move Arrow. And Arrow. Spoiled billionaire playboy Oliver Queen is missing and presumed dead when his yacht is lost at sea. He returns 5 years later, a changed man determined to clean up the city as a hooded vigilante armed with a bow. Okay.
And money.
So Oliver Queen and his father are lost at sea when their luxury yacht sinks, apparently in a storm. His father dies, but Oliver survives for 5 years on an uncharted island and eventually returns home. But he wasn't alone on the island, where he learned not only how to fight and survive, but also of his father's corruption and unscrupulous business dealings. He returns to civilization a changed man determined to put things right. He disguises himself with the hood of one of his mysterious island mentors, arms himself with a bow, and sets about hunting down the men and women who have corrupted his city.
Gina Stephen Amel.
Shiny Katie Cassidy.
Gina David Ramsey.
It's Diggle.
Shiny Willa Holland.
Nizy Paul Blackthorne.
Shiny Emily Bet Rickards.
Gina Colton Haynes.
Shiny Susanna Thompson.
So many Jeunesse.
Yeah, Jeanette's everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nizai John Borman. I jinxed it.
Yeah.
You're gonna need that mail?
Yes, we have.
Gina Manu Bennett.
Bering Sea Gold. Bering Sea Gold is a reality television series set in Nome, Alaska that airs on Discovery Channel. Blah, blah, blah. The subject of the show is to follow boats equipped with various setups to achieve gold mining in a summertime, cold northern latitude, shallow water ocean environment. It's very dangerous. The fleet each typically consists of sluicing apparatus, a means of pay dirt collection, a dredge, and a cold water diving life support system. Conflict issues include choppy seas, poor underwater visibility, inconsistent fuel delivery, personnel issues, mining location rights, sufficient pay dirt discovery, diver safety, and ocean-damaging equipment failures. Each season episodes follow the current fleet of dredges.
Nizy Emily Rydell.
Nizy Steve Pomeranke.
Nizy Sean Pomeranke.
Nizy Steve Rydell.
Zenai Vern Atkinson. Zenai males. So you'll see the anvil cheeks coming from the Z. So on both pictures, very much a momentum sort of expression. You see the strong, unexpressive anvil cheeks. That very kind of a signaling, kind of a signal of power. The cheeks in the way that they have them set with the Zenai, and then with the Nai, here he has the sunglasses on, but on the picture on the right you can see his eyes, and you can see that cunning-eyed look coming from the Nai, and then the Zhai in the mouth, and you see it's localized here, and has more energy on the lower lip.
Nizy Ezekiel Zeke Tenhoff.
Niji Scott Meisterheim.
Not a good example of a Nizy train wreck.
Kind of a train wreck. Yeah, he got kicked off of I think every single crew there. Continuum. A detective from the year 2077 finds herself trapped in the present-day Vancouver and searching for ruthless criminals from the future.
It's close by.
Nijai Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, I have to go back and see if I can find this show.
Gina Victor Webster.
Shiny Eric Knudsen.
Ziny Stephen Lobo. So Ziny You see in both pictures, he is again very much in a momentum sort of facial expression. With the Zai, it will be a momentum for him to neutralize his emotive expression, and his cheeks will have a sheer look to them, unflappable, like you can't read it, sort of what they call, a poker face. And you'll see the G, but it will be localized in around the mouth area, with more energy on the upper lip, and his second power of Ni, you'll see that in his eyes. So the eyes have a dancing-eyed quality to them.
Nijai Lexa Doing.
Nijai Omari Newton.
Jinai Roger R. Cross.
Nizi Luvia Peterson.
Nizi Brian Markinson.
Nizai Jennifer Spence.
Naiji Richard Harn.
Jinai Terry Chen.
Nijai Magda Apinovich.
Nice.
Nice. Done. Okay, so we'll pick back up with elementary next time. Sweet.
All right, so now we move on to the Act 2, the intermediate portion, which is the weekly quiz.
All right. So this week's quiz samples come from Neomegas. A lot of folks in politics, historians, trend forecasters. There was a very interesting quiz. So we'll start off, go round robin with our guesses. First one of the required samples is Roger Stone, a political strategist. Glenn, what did you guess for Roger?
For him, I thought I was seeing Vi G, so that's what I went with first.
Cool. How about you, Adimus?
I said Zenai.
Okay. I went with Vi Z on him.
He was tough. I believe he is a Baiji, but he had a craggy face and some rather
downturned lips.
I think it's a
That's
Diaz
what
brother
threw me
thing.
off.
We'll take a look at that.
And his hand was a little interesting too. I thought I was.
A little
I
thick.
think pictures of him when he was younger may have helped.
Yes, that's what I used as well.
Should have gone that route too. All right, cool. Next one, Webster Tarpley, author, historian, conspiracy theorist. What'd you guess for him?
Oh man, not this guy. For him, he was really hard for me. I really thought that I was saying Ni Alpha, but I ended up going with Vi G.
Yeah. How about you, Adimus?
I went with Nizai.
Okay. I was considering that, but I went with Vi G.
Okay. I believe this dude's a Zenai.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
I
cool.
started there, but those eyes looked so like crazy knee.
Look at him for sure. For me, he was the hardest one.
Yeah, me too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was on like Vi for a while, and then I just didn't know what I was looking at. But I'm pretty sure he's subjective. Those hands look more compact, and I thought they were.
Yeah, he's got a lot of articulation, and I thought that I was seeing a lot of worldview use with the way he was able to just like rattle off all this information.
The hands, and also he jutted a lot when he was talking.
Yeah, that was something I was noticing. Yeah.
True. Okay, next one is Ellen Brown, author, public banking advocate, and attorney. What'd you guess for her?
I think Vi Alpha, but I went with the Vi G. I'm not sure.
I said Vaiji.
I went with Vi G also.
If anyone got her, I would be impressed. You were on that actually, Glenn. She's by Z.
Mm.
Yeah, the Vi Alpha thing popped out, but we don't have a lot of Vi's to go with, but I believe that's Z.
All right. Next one.
That unaware mouth, right? And the emoting didn't go on the Z. Oh man, yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
A lot of wrist to work with.
Yeah. Next, Gerald Salenti, an author, trends forecaster, and business consultant. What'd you guess for him?
I went with Vaiji for him.
What'd you say?
I said Vaiji.
I went Zaini, but
He's 5G.
okay.
More kind of intellectual.
Yeah. I like the independent thing. Excuse me. Last one of the required, Steven Crowder, comedian, YouTube show host, and actor. What'd you guess for him? Glenn?
I wanted to say Naiji, and I was even considering the Nizai, but I went with the Vaiji.
Here's a tough one. I said Naizi.
I went with Nizy on him.
He's nicey.
Oh.
Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Fourth gear I got from, yeah. But like more douchey.
Yeah. Optionals. Jane Jacobs, author and urban design activist. What'd you guess, Glenn, for her?
I said Zenai, but I was heavily considering the Nijai.
Yeah.
I took a pass on her.
I said Zenai, also heavily considering Nishai, but
Zenai it is.
Okay, thank goodness.
yay. Okay. Next, Carl Palladino, businessman, former New York State gubernatorial candidate. What'd you guess for him, Glenn?
I said Vaiji for him.
I said Vizi.
I said Baiji.
5G it is.
He just has a very craggy, again, expression.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peter Chow, YouTube personality. What'd you guess for him, Glenn?
Mainly considering Najez and even a little bit of Nizai, but I went with Naiji.
I said Nijai.
Yeah, I was between Nijai and Naiji. I ended up at Naishi.
For me, this was the other hardest one. He gave me a fit. I believe this is an IG.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
the whole
Yeah, I think
that he was doing, the glasses and
Yeah.
the act he was putting on, it was tough. What really helped me is I went to another video besides what the ones are posting, where I saw him doing some other stuff, where I saw his hands more, and his hands just kept looking wizard, and that's why I kept looking. But what he's doing with his face, another two, he has a wide face, it's like larger eyes. So
Yeah.
I was on possible Nijai for a while, but I'm pretty sure it's Naiji going off the hands.
those eyes are hooded though, right? Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Like it. Great. Another YouTube personality, Tyler Oakley. What'd you guess for him, Glenn?
Again, I went with the Naiji, but considering Nijai very strongly.
How about you, Adimus?
I said Nijai.
I went with Naiji on him.
Yeah, another one, Naiji.
He had a longer face.
Yeah, he did.
He still had that kind of a whole kind of act he does like almost 24/7, but his features were easier to grab.
Yeah. Right. Last sample, Rick Jenneret, sportscaster for NHL hockey. What'd you guess for him, Glenn?
I considered the Z9 and the Vi Alpha, but I settled on Vi Z.
How about you?
I passed.
I went with Vi-Z on him as well.
John Madden, right? I kind of got a little bit of a riff of him.
Yeah, both.
I believe it's a Z9.
Oh.
Okay.
His head was pretty power head.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're probably take a look at it. Let's jump into this.
Okay, Roger Stone, this one.
I think
Or
someone get that one right.
did
Yeah, I got him right.
Leading that.
Cool. Okay, it's not an interview.
For some reason, whereas most of us that aren't predators will defend women and children.
So by G, I had said by Z, I think because that hook in his mouth and his hands were seemed possibly Franzi, hard Franzi to me. But that was,
Yeah, they're a little more substantial than sometimes the body she had. But
serial sexual predator, very much like Bill Cosby, and the number of women that he has raped bitten, sexually assaulted, abused. I identified.
That's a G on the.
He's got the really he's got a lot of eye with his cheeks, and he's older too, so that causes his cheeks to look more like sort of like they're like houndish in a way, but I felt like the way in which he was snarling, in the way that he would explain things, and the way that he would talk was very warm, and I took note of that, and then I felt like G was probably what I was seeing more than Z. And he doesn't seem warm when he goes and resonates on his right. It doesn't give me that same kind of quality that I see with Jai and Mojo's. It seemed more tactical, more cool.
So the notion that Hillary has somehow been.
What did you guess, Demas?
I said Xeni.
Psychologically, she should have veered for his ripen. She plays.
Yeah.
See, that
Were you seeing? Did you think that you were seeing like a powerhead or like a?
Yeah, all those things. I thought the cheeks looked pretty sheer, like the anvil cheeks. The downturned mouth.
Right.
I thought he was giving me a fourth gear of Putin.
Oh, I see. That's a good connection, but yeah.
Well, not if it's wrong.
Yeah, in terms of just appearances, though.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can see that he's got a little bit more of a elongated quality to his face. I took notice of that a little bit, and it didn't seem as like full like it would be with the Xeni. I think that was partly what helped. He's also like, I'm seeing pictures of him. He seems like a kind of alpha kind of character. The way he kind of like has his shirt off in some pictures, and he's kind of like crossing his arms. I think that tends to be associated with like Xeni sometimes, maybe. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, more of a maybe like
pilot thing. I don't know, maybe.
Have more like outwardly swaggering sort of pictures. So it's a little
Yeah. I figured that was probably G though that I was seeing, not necessarily Z, although not necessarily impossible either.
Involved, as you know, in the whole question of drug trafficking in and out of Arkansas, in connection with
His head, his juts, and so forth have a motiveness to him as he's making his points. Kind of gives a motive inflection as he's jutting.
Yeah.
When he was ultimately convicted of
And those eyes, they just look too hooded and they look too prepared, and a little bit deep set too.
And she and her law partner, Vince Foster, why they arranged for Lester to get a full pardon.
All right, you guys are good in that one. We'll move on because we have a few to look at here.
Yeah, Webster talked to you.
Sure.
Did anyone give him as Xeni?
No, I don't think I did.
Let me take a quick
I
look.
thought Vaiji.
Confirm.
Yeah, same here.
And I think,
I thought Nizai, yeah.
yeah, Nizai Vaiji, I think we were all considering very strongly.
I actually started with Xeni though, but I then changed my guess later to Nizai.
Media on him was a little bit tight too, I think. I wasn't able to find too much. Just those two interviews, but I didn't really...
Yeah, they keep the same perspective the whole time.
Zombie banks in Wall Street, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank, Goldman Sachs.
Okay, so one thing that made me think that wasn't dealing with a subjective is he kept frontal contact with his overall face and his eyes most of the time.
Zero.
Doesn't look away very much.
For income tax. That's one side.
And this here, he's jutting a lot.
A period of 10 years that might pay 1 or 2% at most. But the other thing is,
How does the jutting, how do you differentiate that from like bobble?
Because the bobble tends to be more up and down and side to side. He's actually doing these like, he does like these little, and he almost does like 3 motions. We talk about the double jut. He does like 2 or 3 subtle ones forward. But let me see. Let me look more.
you're going to pay sales tax in America that ranges between 6% and 12%. It's just gone up again in California, which is a regressive tax.
Something else is I believe that the hands have the more energetic outward projectile quality that the pilots, particularly in this case the Z alpha, tend to have, and he sort of presses them into the table. Where you notice that even the say the YZ, for example, there tends to be a bit more steepling, where they kind of like curve a bit. Even more so in the YG. He doesn't seem to do that very much.
Impose a sales
But this was a very
tax
challenging
on
example.
Call it the Wall Street sales tax. I think that's
Right there, that thing, all these sales tax. I believe it's V.
was
V was
one
Z.
between 1916
He's
and
doing it again.
1966. There was a very small Wall Street sales tax. New York
Those head movements are forward,
still
not up and
has
down.
a Wall Street sales tax, but they give it back. They give it back to the banks because the banks.
He's got a lot of articulation too.
Articulation.
So they
And he doesn't look away.
There is still right now a tiny tax on Wall Street turnover.
And some things he said just every now and then remind me a little bit of Donald Trump, just like a tiny, tiny tax.
000 something or other. And that goes to finance the Securities and Exchange Commission. So there's no doubt about the constitutionality. It's easy to collect. This stuff has to go across exchanges or be enforced in the court. And the amount, well, the turnover is in the quadrillions. 6 to 7 quadrillion.
I would definitely have more. Okay, right. Okay, that there. The hand. It didn't look the more sort of slicing that you'll see with the hunter. It looked more like a flipper that you'll see with, say, a pilot or a gatherer, but it looked like a hard flipper.
That's on that. Your revenue enhancement is probably in the area of many trillions. We don't know how many trillions because obviously the speculation would tend to go down if you put in such a tax.
And again, I haven't been keeping track, but I don't think he's looked away hardly at all this time we've been watching so far. Even by alpha, we're very good at keeping, frontal contact. Their eyes will, flit off.
I did want to segue into series. I know I really want to get your input on this. We just heard NATO Secretary General announcing these missile posts. I mean, what does this signify?
Well, that man is a bloody hypocrite. We saw him during Libya. His hands are dripping with blood. So he's coming forward as a great human rights. I was able to.
That again, you see what he did on the table? Where he puts fingers like this. There was no give. Even the hunters, they'll tend to be a bit of a swing or pressing in. The digits will bend a bit. He kind of goes right on the top of the tips. Very strong.
Just a little bit more than a year ago. And on this I said in an interview from Damascus, what's going on here are NATO death squads. That is the main thing that's always been the heart of the matter. Essentially,
yeah, so for Bi Alpha, he's just too compact. It's not looking away at all. And then for Nizai, there seems like the articulation's too easy, and then it's percussive with his juts.
From Morocco to Indonesia.
I also found him, compared to some Xenai, I took a while to look at him, he doesn't grab me as much as a lot of Xenai do. Xenai tend to grab the attention more. Maybe it's the subject matter, or just his delivery, but...
It's funny, I was actually considering the Zaini for a little bit too at some point, because he reminded me of one of the other
Who's that?
They take orders over the television from
it doesn't seem, he doesn't seem as like lethargic, and that he speaks, and he doesn't have that tower tunnel voice like the way that a Zaini I would expect to hear. His was just so much more boisterous, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And this other thing here, again, going off that hand tensioning we talked about, it's something I noticed. He's doing a little more academic style, but you'll see a lot with a lot of Xenai strongmen or classic, not to say strongmen, but you see a lot with them. But the classic Xenai politicians tend to do it a lot, and the strongmen types like your Putins and so forth do it a lot, which is they make points and they will point at the desk, and when they do, they jab it with their finger, and there's no give. The tip doesn't go in, the fingers doesn't bend, they just go right down, like he's doing right here in this freeze frame, 552.
And concerning this
So, tough read, I think I'm still seeing Z9 him. Hard chili flipper.
Ellen Brown, by Z, so if anyone got that one.
Yeah. I think it's a case on her with just not a lot of patch experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, by Z.
betting against each other primarily.
And this is what it means in your article. You talked about derivatives have super superiority over security. Super.
I was just going back and forth between both Vi alphas, very much so.
Yeah. I think she got Vi alpha right away, but the distinguish is a little bit tricky. A couple things here. One, notice that she's listening. She kind of is opening her mouth a bit slack and resonating with what she's hearing and preparing to make her move on the information. And then I heard at the beginning, I'm sure hear it some more, is the gravelly, more gravelly in the voice than you'll tend to hear with the Vaiji.
Does this affect pensions as well?
They have super priority over everything.
The voice, yeah, the growth.
The shy heaviness there, right?
They're the creditors. All the creditors are covered in a bail-in. All the creditors' money will be taken.
Cool, but then at the same time, it's like a deep resonating quality, but it's led by the Thai drone.
In a bankruptcy,
More energy at lower
the
lip.
bank is liquidated in order to pay off the creditor.
I was.
And bail-in, the creditors.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
that's actually a good example of VIZ. We shall have a lot. Why don't you take a minute to kind of look and take her in, because this is a good one to.
Instead of the reverse. So they specifically say creditors, which obviously means shareholders and bondholders. But what most people don't realize is that depositors are also.
I really wanted to say VIZ, but it's just, I think confidence was a large part of it.
An IOU.
Not having the confidence to just be confident enough to say, like, oh, that's a VIZ, because it's so rare, right? You don't see them very often.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
This is since Glass-Steagall.
See, if she tilts it over right, it's motor comes in.
All that whole pool of funds is commingled.
And her delivery very deadpan.
Do with it as well. If there was an exemption for like 5% of their derivatives, which were clearly gambling, right up till a year ago, December, when the Citigroup slipped into the omnibus budget bill, a rider that eliminated even that 5%. So now all their derivatives can be done in the depository arm of banks.
Yeah, that inward curling of the lip you see as well.
And
Lips curling inward and more on the lower lip.
In other words, that is supposedly insured money.
Well,
And that distinct shy
that's
heaviness.
insured, but I mean the FDIC has what, $50 billion?
Right, 67 billion the last time I looked. They have a credit line of 500 billion with the Treasury, but that's just a credit line. First of all, I mean, it's a debt, and who's going to pay it back? It would have to be paid back by banks.
Who's gonna pay it back? Like that, you hear that emoting, it doesn't go above the midline of the voice, and it's not really the lead in the articulation, it just sort of like is there as like a rudder.
That's interesting, the midline of the voice.
Yeah, because you can hear, I can hear that shy.
Yeah, I heard, exactly, yeah.
500 billion deficit, and even that's
It's kind of like a nagging kind of quality that the Jai has for her. It's sort of like, but it's not.
Dragged up,
It's not.
pulled by the Z.
Yeah.
They had a study done to determine what their liability was, the taxpayers' liability.
But it gives her an earnestness
just from
in
that
when she delivers this data that I think actually adds to the overall argument she's making.
$10 trillion derivative.
Because overall her arguments are very sort of spot on and technical.
And that includes the oil derivatives. If you ask me, you're like,
Yeah, inward smile.
Well,
He says, if you ask me. Are we good with her?
Sure, yeah.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try another one.
Gerald Salenti, I think, did you guys get him? As like,
Yeah, I was able to get him.
did you get him, Adimus?
Who's he?
Gerald Salenti?
Was he Vaiji?
Yeah?
Then yeah, I got him.
Okay, so cool. Then we're good with that. And maybe Rick Generate?
Regenerate? Okay.
I think everyone pretty much said Vi alpha for him? Or Vi Z?
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was seeing more of like an elongation, but that, or like a power head quality.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey fans in this Colin Cup, He robbed him blind. I know this can be like asking you to choose your favorite child, but which call is closest to your mom? You know, I really don't have one because every time she asked me that, if I picked one, something else popped up and that was.
Maybe a different video.
It seems so clear now.
He has a bit more of a sort of dour energy, for lack of better energy. I tend to associate that with Vi-Z as well. I was between Vi-Z and Z9, but yeah, there you see up energy.
I can totally see the pilot head now. It's so much more clear. And the emoting doesn't go past the lip line.
And in pictures, he looks a bit more dour. In motion, you can kind of see the more up energy of a pilot.
Holy mackerel. And he's story because the tension of when Pierre Turgeon.
Okay, there you see the power head and also the brighter eyes that the pilots have as compared to hunters.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of ample cheek. But he has a bit of a crinkly face and sort of like sometimes looks a bit tired. And sometimes you might associate that with Bi Alpha.
Yeah, maybe that was the seed that was planted.
That's the thing the pilots do more, particularly Z Alpha, where they kind of put their head out and then put out some more and like shake it.
On the street, I won't even be in Buffalo, I'll be in Long Island or somewhere else, and I'll hear someone.
And his voice also seems to have more Z to it as well.
So
a bit more invigorating.
Yeah, it's more heavier, like the way that Z feels, like the way it kind of like comes out.
Yeah, it's a little more energetic.
Yeah.
I think we've been listening to some basketball games, and I think there's 3 commentators that do it a lot in the games, and one Z9, then to revise Z. They're both good, but the Vi-Z tends to be a bit more like gravitas, where the Z9
Powerful.
has more like, excitement to it.
Yeah, there's a powerful quality to the Z9's voice as well.
The media here is not obviously the best either. This is a pretty challenging read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grabbed him pretty quickly myself, but I can see if you didn't grab him right away, there wasn't a lot to work with here. This is pretty challenging. So, do you guys kind of see that a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. In that case, we'll move on to Act 3, the advanced portion, which is the live read, and we have 2 samples from Mia Vegas to look at.
All right.
Oh, Mitchell sent us.
Until a little later, so. All right, so. All right. First sample tonight is Peter Kane, an animal trainer.
Killed a gorilla at the Cincinnati Zoo because some fucking piece of trash woman couldn't watch her fucking child. You can't watch your fucking kid.
Outrage over the gorilla.
Into the enclosure. It's just like a 4-year-old kid or something. You know? That must have been difficult. How long were you not watching the kid? So you had your hands full, huh? You had too many kids with you, and you had your brat that was saying, I want to go into the water. You know, and you're just saying no, and then you start watching the kid. The kid goes into the fucking gorilla pit. You're a rotten parent.
I feel like I'm reading that subjective.
So is your kid.
Yeah, I feel
horrible.
That too.
Horrible. You should be. That lady should be in jail. They should take your kid away. You're not equipped to be a parent. You know.
Does that sound like G or Shy? I feel like I'm hearing G.
Dick. You're a dick.
Yeah, this one's pretty laden, so let me see.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough to do it. Let me, there are a couple more here that...
Felt like I was hearing G there. I don't know.
People have no idea what it's like working with a raven, and I think a lot of ravens end up as pets because of this. And the only thing that I could compare it to is like maybe if you lived with like somebody with like severe narcissism. You know, it's all about saying it doesn't, you know, or maybe like a sociopath or psychopath.
Those hands look kind of directive.
You know, it really
I
is.
don't know.
So I'm leaning that way.
And that's fine. I love the guy. You know,
Sort of
but you have
leaning
to
towards the
understand, like, he
sheaves
goes
or
through these
subjective.
phases where
And
he,
Hunter, Jez Hunter, you think maybe?
Yeah,
sort of thing.
I'm leaning towards Naiji
Sort of torture.
right now.
Naiji, yeah. I'm kind of a little bit undecided on the Jez Hunter, but I think I might be seeing Naiji more.
I think
He doesn't have that sort of like.
There. Let's see. Check out that smile. It looked like it went into the cheeks. So. When he got pecked by the raven, he smiles there. See?
The Frank Capra, It's a Wonderful Life. I've heard Jimmy Stewart talk.
When he got pecked, the way he reacted seemed like very much like a Zai to me. I don't know.
Tortured Jimmy. Just like singled him out and just tortured him. So, you know, that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with an animal that's like, you know, it's got a lot of stuff upstairs, and you know, it really isn't. A lot of times the stuff that they do isn't cute, so it's going to be frustrating at times. You're going to live with the raven. Do you understand? Like he'll take my my wallet, and he's looking for my driver's license, you know, and then he takes the driver's license and tries to destroy it. So, you know, and there's physical things too. You saw him going at my shoulder. He went, you know, this week, and he's done this before throughout, you know, the years I've lived with him, but like,
yeah, there.
he'll, like,
It looked like it went to the
like
cheeks.
I'm taking the dogs out, and so for like 2 days, each time I bend over to put a leash on a dog, here comes Sam to claw me in the back. Do you understand? This is
Looks like kind of a
that
jerk.
Can hurt. That can hurt. If you're
That raven.
bit or
That
anything
is.
like that, don't get a raven. Seriously, and if you think that you can be sort of just passive with the raven, you have to be. You can't give him a physical correction, but you can certainly tell the raven when it's fucking up. You know, but you can't give it a physical correction. It's a bird. There's no way to do it.
That bird could probably pluck his eye right out.
I know.
That's the same thing.
I know. It doesn't seem like
Like, look at
a
what I
real
did, you know?
domesticated sort of animal.
Crazy.
And he was too quick.
He makes me crazy.
When you bit him in the
at
shoulder,
times.
Yeah.
you move in time, so you can't move your shoulder in time, you can't move your head in time.
No, it's really fast.
He's like right there, like right in range.
A sociopath or a psychopath.
I love Sam. I love him to death, but at times it's frustrating. So
Yeah,
you
there.
get
That
the raven,
it looked like he was smiling, and it looked like
really
G.
know and understand what you're doing. My first course.
He's an animal trainer. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You should have a lot of bird
Interesting.
experience if you're going to consider getting a raven or a crow.
All right, we got another link here.
You can also do search to see if anything else.
Yeah.
Mine is people contacting me that they found a raven or a crow, like a baby, and they want information on how to keep it alive. Fuck you. What's the matter with you? Take it to a wildlife rehabilitator or an animal.
He doesn't pull any
hospital that knows
punches.
how to take care of the
Like,
bird.
fuck you.
You're
What's
gonna
the matter
kill
with
it.
you?
You don't know what you're doing. You're on the internet trying to find out information on the
Could that be Vi drone? I'm really wondering.
And first of all, you shouldn't have
Could
picked
be.
the bird up. There's a reason why it's on the ground a lot of times, okay? The birds, they live a short period of time on the ground, like, you know, in between flight. So they go out of the tree, they live on the ground, they eat bugs, whatever. The mother's around. You pick that bird up, you're fucking screwing it for life. And even if it's too young, alright? And, you know, it's naked.
It's an
it doesn't have
interesting
any
thing. He
feathers,
does all right.
and you find it
Like
on the
several
ground, it's
times.
probably going to be dead, number one. But number two is the flies have to eat too, okay? Don't get involved in it. It's illegal for you to touch wildlife. Don't do it. You're not qualified to do it. And if you do happen to, while we're on the subject, deer, you find a deer in the woods, leave it alone. It's not orphaned. That's what all these people think. Oh, it's orphaned. It's not orphaned. The mother leaves the deer alone. for about 10 hours a day where they go up and feed. The baby deer's camouflaged real good. And if you come across it in the woods, get away from it. The mother's not going to come around while you're around. Do you get it? Yeah, you don't see the mother? Because you're there. Get the fuck out and leave the fucking baby deer alone. Don't pick up a raven or a crow in the woods. Don't pick up any wildlife unless you're a licensed rehabilitator. And you're not, are you? You're looking for information on the internet. You're a fucking idiot. I make videos and all kinds of weather conditions. And
He's hilarious.
Sometimes I don't wear a shirt. And I want to preemptively say something because I don't want anybody comparing me to the fucktard. When I do it when it's hot out. Not because I have some kind of narcissistic, fucked up view that I'm some kind of dreamboat and everybody wants to look at me without a shirt.
Does Ollie have our close-up shots of his face?
Yeah, I'd like something else as well.
Yeah.
You
Agreed.
can't be not wearing a shirt in a video and I'm like, fuck it, it's hot out. I wear what I want or don't wear what I want. And that's how it is.
All right. Okay, so here's
So,
something
in
that
comparison,
in the shot looks like I
You know,
can see hands.
I don't have a bear
Here we
claw
go.
on my chest. Separation anxiety dogs is a bitch. And, you know, the overly loving owner creates it. Unless you adopted a dog with separation anxiety, if your dog acquired it while you had it, you created it. That's how it is. It's always the overly
Fingers
loving
are long.
owner. You know,
Longish.
dog, oh, mommy's going to be back. Don't ever say goodbye or hello to your dog. Now, if it's too late, your dog
Seems
already
pretty
has
comfortable
separation
coming away from
anxiety.
his body.
You're going to want to use
There.
a crate. The crate's going to be very helpful. In other words, if the dog is going towards the window
Seems pretty
to wait for you, it's going to sit there.
or
and
lower
like,
viscosity
no,
seems to be.
it needs to be chilled out in a crate like a normal dog. Okay? So you use a crate. If you're having problems with the dog, if the dog's flipping out in the crate, like when you leave anyway, and by the way, get your keys and stuff like that, and you know, like all the routine that you would do before you would leave. You know, put your coat on, but don't go anywhere. You know, if the dog starts acting up, correct it. You know, get it used to this and get it used to, like, you know, don't give it a lot of eye contact when you're leaving. Don't say anything to it. Ignore it. So just get it used to, you're doing everything and you're ignoring it. Now, if you're having a real problem and the dog's like barking and stuff like that, here's a check cord. This is a long leash. And if you see, we're using my most hyperactive dog, Tonka, down there. He does not have separation anxiety. But if he barked or something, I jump in the blanket in the back. What a fucker. Now, if he barked or something, or your dog with separation anxiety was barking, you can correct it this
Oh,
way.
poor
You
dog.
put in
He's
a-
like, what the fuck? I didn't do anything.
No. Right? Along with no. Same thing, if the dog's digging at the crate, you can correct it with this and start articulating a language to the dog that the dog understands. Any of those bad behaviors that it's doing in the crate, you have to stop it. It doesn't
It
matter.
seems like he has an
that you
ease
know
of
it's
articulation,
going inside.
relative
You know your
ease
dog has this
of
anxiety
articulation.
disorder.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Correct the dog.
Seems like he has what?
A relative ease of articulation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a directive.
Separation anxiety. So maybe you.
It's just a question of like I think we're all leaning mainly towards Jazz Hunter though, right? I mean,
And then you're going to take it to that next level.
what do you guys think? Are you guys in that area?
Where are you at?
Kind of. I took a different path.
Okay.
I was in between subjective interpretives.
You can correct.
Yeah, that's why I was.
Point where it's so far
I was
outside,
also
you
at
take
a
the leash
subjective
off and it is just a
interpretive,
verbal
which
no.
is why I brought up the.
No. But you
Ease
have
of
to,
articulation.
Like, start getting your dog
Mhm.
used to seeing, you know, all these rituals that you do.
Subjective interpretive. So is the Ziny and the Naiji?
You know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant subjective romantics.
Oh,
So
okay.
shiny.
Shiny.
Yeah.
Shiny. That's interesting.
The dog's required to be with the
I'm personally between the Jazz Hunters.
train the dog. That's key. That's what this is all about. You have to train the dog at a time.
I see pictures. I have a
Those
look.
hands. What's something about those hands look interesting?
I leave her on purpose at times because the animal like wants to be right on me constantly. You have to learn to be alone, Remy. It's not feasible for me to take Remy everywhere I go. You understand? So the same is true with the dog. Try a leash, but you have to get over, you know, like the dog's fucked up. you know, oh, I feel bad for it. Don't feel bad for it. Don't get sucked in. That's key. The only way you can help the dog is keeping your shit together, your emotional health, because what you're seeing here, it really isn't like us. They're not like the anxiety disorder in the dog isn't really like a anxiety disorder
I think I'm seeing Vaiji.
dog. Do you understand? They don't have this like intellectual capability that we have. So one thing that you cannot do is rationalize the dog out. You can't say that's how they get fucked up. Actually, you can't say.
Oh man, he is tough.
That's really what causes this. That kind of shit. You're better busting in the door. What the fuck are you doing? You know, and get the dog
What the fuck are you doing?
Now, the other thing that's important, that since the crate is your #1 tool for separation anxiety, you want to make sure that the dog understands.
Sometimes it reminds me of like Colin Farrell, but with more upset lines on his face.
Now, so if you take the
Yeah, I
door
could see that.
and you close it on the dog will start seeing it as like you control everything. So you don't let the dog out. You don't release him. Well, you don't release him. You know, and that way the dog understands that that's its place.
Poor dog.
I know.
It's like, am I out or what?
Like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah. Can we go?
Not just
You're such a
separation
jerk.
anxiety dog, but you want to make sure that the dog never runs out any door. That's key to having your dog healthy. So teach it that. You know, like maybe
He certainly values discipline.
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
this, making sure that the dog understands.
Poor dog,
you
he's like
control
shaking
the
this.
door, and just because the door's open, it can't get out. Right? Start making the dog calm.
He's like, can I go? Can I go? Oh, I'm gonna go. I think he made a run for it. That's why he had to cut. Alright. Okay, let me do another one here.
I would love to see Frank.
And,
Sorry, Demas. You were saying?
Oh, I said I would love to see Frank Armisen do an impersonation of him.
No, it would be perfect.
And he's past that point. And it's really important
See what his
for me
hands
to
look
get the dog
like.
to stop
Like
using
more-
his mouth
now that we see.
appropriately real fast. So,
They look very like heavy in an interesting way.
appropriate, he's looking at the kitchen. Using his mouth.
Could be like a V.
I don't want him trying to retrieve a bird, you know, while he still is doing this kind of stuff, because he might hurt the bird. So by the time the dog is 10 weeks old, you know, I nip this in the bud, that's for sure. And the food trainers will tell you to do the stupidest shit. They'll tell you to make this sound like ooh, ooh, you know, ooh, ooh, moving your hand away or something. It turns it into a game. That's why Denise Herman, we use her as an example of a
Yeah.
train her dog.
Yeah, is that a hunter hunch I'm seeing?
She told me was biting at 4 months, the same age as Tonka here. Who's
Moves
not
forward a lot.
inappropriately at all. Now, if you do what the food trainers say, I swear to God, by the time your dog's 8 months old, the dog will be screwed up. Stay away from the.
I feel like I've seen a lot of Vaiji do the kind of game that he's doing.
Somebody that teaches people to teach their dogs.
Do you hear drone?
Empire of the Dog.
I think
Food trainer Williamsburg is
Yeah.
black.
he might have some knee there, but yeah, I think.
Not sure about
The dog is real
I'm saying it could very well be there. I just can't
remember those.
detect it.
Those milk teeth are very, very
Just
sharp.
hear it like
So what you do is you take.
I know what you mean. It doesn't have that sort of like heavy brony quality, I guess you typically
I
tend to
hear
hear.
a whine, what quality?
Your other hand, right, and grab the dog
I
up and out.
grab.
and hold it.
Feel like I'm not seeing the kind of meticulousness and precision in his hands that I see in Vaiji hands, though.
And the dog will probably react. And
Yeah.
if the dog reacts and
That's
makes like
true.
a sound, good, you're doing it right. It's very important. Don't worry about.
Who's the guy that plays Iron Man? I think he might be.
Robert Downey
good.
Jr.
Robert Downey
You guys feel like you might be seeing that
Yeah, I
as a
was actually seeing that earlier, that riff of that, which was like why I was kind of in the sub-ROM area. But,
Yeah, me too.
It's quicker
At first, he actually reminded me of Frank Armisen.
I mean, could he be a Jai-V?
The longer it becomes ingrained,
Interesting.
and you don't
That's
die
interesting.
We've seen
Huh.
Jai animal trainers, you know, so
at 8 months.
Or in Denise Herman's case, she should call me actually. I could help her with her dog, but she won't because she's a food trainer. Hey, listen, stay away from certified treat dog instructors and food trainers. They're selling you crap, and they're selling you crap under the guise of being humane, and it isn't humane. And as you see, Tonka here is 4.5 months old. He has no interest in mounting my hand anymore.
no, he's too interested in that pigeon. Alright. Let's see, more video.
Tell some friends of mine that I watch their dog, so I go and pick up the dog. And what do they give? What do they have for the dog? This shitty little leather leash that's fucking just about frayed and broken and broke on me. Thanks. Good way to get me sued, you fucking jerks. Seriously, what the fuck are you talking about? You didn't see that this leash was all fucked up? That's your fucking leash? Man, you got a dog that has fucking issues. Do you realize that? Your dog has fucking issues? You know, it goes after dogs on the street because you haven't trained it, okay? It pisses me off. I'm sorry, but you know what? 2 years ago, they were using one of these, a Flexi Lead, and I told them not to. And you know what? About 3 months ago, I saw them still fucking using it. This dog that has issues, right? They're friends with a professional. They don't listen to a thing that I say. And then they want me to watch their dog and can't even give me a fucking proper fucking leash to fucking get the dog.
I wonder if his friends were his friends after they saw this video.
Here's another example of a shitty type of leash. See these nylon leashes, these black nylon leashes? They're crap. You know why they're crap? They're way too long. Number one, there's not in it. Your leash, that means you don't know what you're doing, and you can't control your dog that way.
I think he knows quite a bit about
I mean, I kind of see some Jai Alpha, like, riffs.
You got a nylon leash?
Wonder if it could be a Jai-V.
Here's another bad leash.
a Jai-V.
This isn't even a leash. This is a chain. I see these all the time. You know what this does? It causes the dog to drive forward. It's weight. It's putting weight on the collar. And also, you can't get direction with this. This is uncomfortable in your hand.
Why V?
It hurts.
Why not knee?
Why not knee?
Using chains, and they have a glove on. Because they're fucking stupid. You don't use a chain. This is you know, for something else, but
yeah,
it's not for the dog. You know, it's not appropriate for anything, really. Don't use chains. Don't use a 6-foot leather leash. This is exactly what you need to have. It's a 6-foot leather leash. This is a leash that everyone should own.
Could be neat.
Wake up, people. If you're having problems with your fucking dog, think about the leash you're using. Doesn't that make sense? You know, what is the matter with you? Get a proper leash.
So much indignation.
I swear to God, if these people, my friends, the next time I deal with their dog, if they don't have a leather leash, I'll never do them the favor again. After me having to fucking walk their dog out to my car with a broken fucking leash, you know, that's their idea. I don't want to get sued, you fucking idiots. Jesus fucking Christ.
Sorry, this guy's hilarious. Okay. Wow. Okay. Watch another video. Okay.
We still have a lot of time, don't we?
Yeah, but we have another sample, so if we make, you know, if we finish this one, we can move on to the next one.
What time were we planning on ending tonight's?
4:30.
So 3 to 4:30. Okay.
So let's see. Let's see this one.
The bite statistic on pit bulls, it's high. You know, you sprint one time, it's really probably no higher than 800 dollars. I find them a very stable breed. I really do, and I like them. I don't have any problems with them. They're easy to train. They're good with people.
Yeah, good with people. And you know,
He kind of reminds me of the dude who plays Jim Gordon in the
In Gotham?
and that's
no, the movies.
Oh.
Terrier breeds, large breeds, you know, fully typed.
The Dark Knight series. What's that guy's name?
I don't know. Is it Gary Oldman?
Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing maybe Jai. I'm not sure though.
Labradors are the most popular breed.
I don't know. I'm getting cross riffs. Like I get a little bit Colin Farrell, but then I get the Robert Downey Jr.
Same with me, yeah.
Some shiny
I
actor.
see way more pit bulls than I do Labradors. This is true, man. I see them everywhere. I'm in Brooklyn and New York. I see pit bulls everywhere. Everybody seems to have pit bulls. And since it appears to me that the pit bulls.
Yeah, his mouth looks kind of slack, doesn't it? That picture?
We're talking about anything with
Picture? What picture?
of terrier
What's that?
origin.
What picture?
This picture in the video. Here.
Oh.
Big screen.
Oh, I see.
Here.
I guess
Isn't
it could be
sort of
seen
like a
that way.
slap?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Keep watching.
Are the most popular breed. It's a mixed breed. And we're talking about anything with a large head of terrier origin. You know, it's the most popular breed. Of course the bite statistic's going to be high because there's just so many of them. There's more pit bulls in the world than there are Labradors by far. I mean, there's more pit bulls, I think, than any other breed. That's why the statistic is, is skewed. It's because of that. It's not because of the breed being unstable. It's just as stable as any other breed. The big problem that I see with pit bulls is this, is that physiologically, they're a very strong dog. But there's other strong dogs. But for some reason, a certain bad element of human beings wants the pit because they're strong. And just like any dog, if you train it improperly, or don't train it at all, the dog, is going to act out. And it's going to act out probably by biting. So there is that element too, that it's wanted by the wrong type of person.
Interesting that he didn't go the route of going with the history of
I
the
swear to God,
pit
it's a
bull
very
and why
stable
they,
breed.
have
There's
the
nothing
strong
wrong
jaws
with
that they
it.
do
They
and
have a
stuff.
high drive, but
Yeah, the fact that they've been bred.
Yeah, to be have
Gladiators.
characteristics,
They should
traits.
have a high drive.
Not that I love
Tight into the
pits,
survival.
but
So
interesting he's going through
if you think about getting a pit, get
these
it.
sort of
If
arguments.
you get a real young one, you shouldn't have any problems with it. Train it with obedience from an early age, and you will not have any
Your
problems
voice
with your dog.
sounds.
And if you have problems with your dog,
Yeah, dog,
I can
call
help
me.
you.
It's
So
very
thumbs up on the
plaintive.
tables, and don't play the statistics because
Are we ready to call it on him, maybe?
there's millions.
Yeah. Are you?
I don't know if I'm gonna if things are gonna change in the next 5 minutes or so.
Right. I mean, we're limited with footage here.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right.
Number one dog.
Good. So we'll start off with you, Glenn. Where do you land on Peter Kane?
It's tricky. I feel like I'm seeing Vaiji though. Vaiji, then Naiji, then Jaini. Just because I feel like you guys are maybe onto something with the Jaini.
Okay. How about you, Adimus?
I think I'm going to put Shiny first, then Naiji second.
Okay. I feel like I'm going to put Jaini, then Jaivi, then Naiji.
All right. This, I believe, is a Baiji.
Baiji. Oh, nice.
He was very upset.
Yeah.
Basic lecturing, Baiji lecturing on the way to do things properly. A bit more feral than some of the Baiji we've
Yeah.
seen, so I can see.
Good job, Glenn.
But there was a lot of drone and a lot of concern and a lot of pegging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do not suck. All right, do we have time for a one?
Yep, we have a few minutes. Very interesting read.
Yeah. Very feral Vashi.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Diaz brother, actually.
Yeah.
We're like, like they don't care.
Fine features or
And they'll just
slider frame.
Like, you got to train right. You got to train. That's always like, you got to train right. You lose. You should lose if you don't train right.
Our next sample is Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson.
So we had seen an interview or something because he's always lecturing and he's always pumped up. That kind of shows a lot of energy at the reader.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Gary Johnson was the Republican governor of New Mexico, aligned with me.
Yes.
And so most people in this country are actually classical liberals. I think they are libertarian. They just don't know.
His eyes are very interesting.
Between classical liberal, because that's really where I would say I'm at right this very moment. I mean, when I was 12, I remember wanting Michael.
Yeah.
Always thought
He's got like nice big eyes, right?
Yeah, and he does like these perk ups.
So what's the difference
like these flashes?
Liberal and libertarian. I don't know. Is there a difference? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that.
I see what you're saying.
With a broad brushstroke, what I'm saying. Right. Yeah. So, and classical liberal is actually considered a conservative principle, right? Which seems. Yes, I mean that's how it all started. Right. That's how it all started out. But the conservatives have lost their way, in my opinion, with a social conservative agenda.
So I want to say he looks kind of clear-eyed.
Yeah,
and rightfully so. It doesn't allow people to make their own.
When you say clear-eyed,
recognize their own.
Does that imply literal or like V or?
It implies V.
Okay.
That are the easy ones, like gay marriage
but not necessarily whether it's momentum or modulation, or you find that.
Not necessarily.
It's right to choose. I mean, throw that in there. Just basic decisions. You as an individual should be the only one. I mean, these are difficult. I don't want to say that.
I think he kind of reminds me of Rick Jenner a little bit.
Choice, but take abortion.
That
I mean, that's a
sportscaster, the hockey sportscaster.
But the woman
Rick Jenner.
Right. So what happened then to the Republican Party that should be for small government? It should really be for states' rights. The things that I think you're saying you're for. What
riffs of you of him?
These issues
What's that?
Really they should be.
He riffs of Rick Jenner too?
Yeah, the hockey sportscaster.
I feel like I'm seeing 5G with this guy too.
Okay.
Well, where did that go?
I don't feel like I've seen the long elongation in face.
Areas, but they want to increase spending when it comes to the military. They're growing government just like Democrats. So is that the dangerous thing more than anything else? That the one guy who was talking about making the government smaller in this entire election cycle was Rand Paul. He didn't even get out of the Iowa. I agree.
Does have quite interesting perk-ups though.
Well, really, if he wasn't a social conservative, I think there would have been a lot more appeal. I happen to agree with half of everything that Rand Paul has to say. Right. But when it comes to those social issues, that's where we part ways. Right. So he just won't absolutely say that he's for gay marriage or. He'll say let the states decide that, but personally he would say that no, he's opposed to these issues. Well, personally, I'm not opposed to allowing a person to make these choices. Believing in my heart of hearts that these are decisions that only the person involved should be making. Right, so then does that right there go to how dysfunctional our system is, which probably explains why Bernie and Trump are working, because those are the... So the system right now is the Republican nominee has to cater to 30% of the far right. Right. That's what the Republican nominee is appealing to, 30% far right. The Democrat nominee is appealing to 30% of the far left. When you have 45% of the electorate declaring themselves as independent, what you end up with the two major candidates is a solid 30% representation of the electorate, which is really nuts. Okay, I'm with you. So your sales job is working so far. I'm fully with you. So what do we do to explain to people? I think people think when you say to someone,
most governors,
you want people to run around only defending themselves, and roads are going to crumble because the government won't be able to
Coach, the governor composition of the ones who have been read so far, are there a lot of Xeni or?
I got to serve
three leadership seats, Xeni and also two by Alpha.
A lot better, and
Xeni are very strongly represented though.
having gotten re-elected the second time by a bigger margin than the first time.
Ben was asking if their Sinai are strongly represented.
Yes, I mean, I was always.
They're all three are in there, but there is a more of the C9 and Z
Which I always thought
governors.
was a compliment. and I still do.
Yeah, I'm looking at the data right now.
A lot more clear. You know where a libertarian stands when it comes to all this. I remember.
Yeah, that perk up that he's doing kind of
here's where-
seems
very short book.
seems
here's
clear-eyed.
where This is what a libertarian is. And I remember saying, I'm a libertarian, and this was, I want to say I was 14 or 15 years old.
And when he widened his eyes, it looks interesting to me.
I was contemplating running for governor of New Mexico. I showed up at the state libertarian meeting, and it took me about 45 seconds to come to grips with the fact that I would never hold office if I ran as a libertarian.
So what was that about?
Well, just the fact that really disorganized. There aren't many libertarians, but that isn't to say the libertarians aren't principally correct. And libertarianism is really all principle, and yes, less government is better. The biggest issue facing our country right now, I think, is the fact that we continue to spend more money than what we take in, and the ramifications.
I don't feel like I'm seeing very much activity above the midline.
And that's going to be.
Yeah, I haven't seen much so far.
Really,
I haven't
really,
seen any so far.
Yeah, so I know a ton of my supporters, or a ton of my fans are Bernie supporters. And I like Bernie. I think he's talking about the right thing.
This dude's Vajit, right? The interviewer?
This idea that
Yeah.
Yes.
stuff, you would argue that these things simply aren't free and the government probably shouldn't have anything to do with them.
So half of what Bernie says. Wow. Right on. Spot on.
Right. So
But
that you're
but
talking about
the
campaign finance and things like that.
Well, campaign finance and back to individuals making choices in their own lives, and that there is a corporate America, that crony capitalism is alive and well. I recognize that. Spot on. But then when he starts talking about spending and what government should provide, and a huge, gigantic
You
expansion.
might have like really developed me.
Possibly, Dave. I mean, I'm in the camp that
What's
believes
that? Me?
Yeah.
monetary collapse, and it will be because of inflation, and it'll be a bond market collapse because nobody will be holding on to bonds
It's
because
really bright, though.
such a rate
Yeah, they're
that
right.
won't be
That's
anything
what jumps
to
out at
hold
me.
on to.
Yeah.
And the government is just going to spend and spend and spend. And
Like
spend.
this picture here.
By-
So check it out.
By nothing.
Him,
and
on his bike.
recognized. And like I said,
Kinda,
we're
I mean-
getting to hyperinflation, which, in my opinion,
I'm not seeing
at
a lot of
some
emoting
point
there.
will be the conclusion to all of it.
Really?
You're not going to hold on to a
Uh,
bond when it
I've
may
seen
be
crinkling
devaluing
in
at
around his
a
eyes,
rate
but
of,
I'm not seeing
many
emotive
percentage
expression.
points a day. You're just not going to hold on to it.
Is he parroting Putin in that picture?
What's that?
Is he parroting Putin? Like how Putin had that one with his shirt off on a horse?
If he's not, then it's very reminiscent.
A monetary collapse is when
His cheeks are very interesting, though. I mean, I'm wondering what's going on with those.
find it in reality. You're not going to be able to buy anything at the
I feel like I see a lot of constant engagement, too.
shelf.
A lot of double barreling.
All the money that you have and buy everything that you
think
possibly can because it's not going to be worth anything tomorrow.
Right.
That's a monetary
We're at
collapse
about
that
time
is-
here, so let's
that is something that's repeated
see another
itself in
interview,
companies
maybe.
time and time over the history of mankind.
Right. So
And
this is
we're
sort
not
of-
immune from this.
So that's sort of like what happened in Greece like a year ago, and then everyone rushes to the banks, and the bank.
Is this country of 350 million people only capable of being
Yeah.
governed by two
Look,
families?
it seems to me that it's a downturned arc to his mouth. He might be another one that's a red herring, but
Is in those 24
Seems like
states,
that.
in those 4 states recreationally. Every product manufactured in those states has to be grown, processed, and packaged in those individual states. That is not the best scenario for the consumer.
And that's because the federal law is so
Exactly,
illegal and
exactly.
can't cross state.
Exactly. So you can't cross state lines with any of these products, and that ends up, like I say, to be, at this point, the biggest obstacle.
I guess Ohio has a pot legalization initiative in the fall of this year. California's going to be having. When do you think enough states have gone to recreational pot? either actually make their stand. Well, so here's my crystal ball. My crystal ball is, first of all, I think we've reached the tipping point. Okay, the walls, it's falling. But when it actually crashes, my prediction is it's 2016, California at the ballot box makes recreational sales legally. And then I believe that overnight, 20 states overnight will legislate it and governors will sign it. And that will genuinely be in terms of certifying trademark, what do you think customers are looking for? Well, right now, more than anything, people are just looking to buy the products and get high. I mean, that's really what they're looking for. But when you look forward, I mean, what people really want is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola tastes the same here because it's the same ingredients here as it is in Thailand. McDonald's, hey, when McDonald's started out, you have to believe that the French fries maybe didn't taste the same from one state to another because they hadn't standardized it. This is going to be the evolution of the industry, and the evolution of the industry is going to be these quality products that really genuinely know the contents, and you're going to be assured of that consistency and safety. And this is blending into also a kind of moment where everything is artisanal, or I think about when you go into a wine shop or a food shop, you have people there.
I really wish I could get more hands here.
Yeah.
It's a tough call just because the little hands I'm seeing, sometimes the hands actually do look kind of long.
Oh, I thought you meant.
What's that?
I thought you meant that you would like to hear more different opinions.
Oh.
Which would also be good. Like,
well, that too. That'd be helpful.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Like Mitchell and Ben with their thing.
You get in the presidential,
but
15% in the polls. Joe, the rigged game is that if you're not in the polls, there's no way that you can poll at 15%, but it has to be a consistent polling.
Yeah, I can call it on him.
Starting now.
Tough though.
Are you still on? Are you still confident with 5G?
I haven't been in a national poll since a month ago.
Not as confident as I would like to be, but I think I might be seeing that most. But the Z9 is really also strongly being considered as well, and the VIZ would be the last.
Yeah. Yeah, for some reason, VIZ's not in there for me. I feel like it's either VIZ or Z9.
The smile, something about the smile seems too like the way that either a Z9 kind of does it, or like the way the VIZ can kind of do it.
Okay, hand.
15% of the
yeah, hands.
Okay, guys. So I'll start with you, Glenn. Where do you land on him?
Yeah, it's tight for me when it comes to the VIZ and the Z9, but I think I'm seeing this VIZ. I feel more confident saying VIZ than Z9 and then VIZ, but it's tight out.
Yeah.
Just want to put that out. There's a disclaimer.
Yeah. How about you, Adimas?
I originally started on Z9. I think I'm actually going to change mine to VIZ and then Z9.
Yeah, it's tough.
He could have a very elongated pilot face.
He could.
Yeah. It's not unseen.
I'll go with VIZ and then Z9.
VIZ with lots of giant.
Oh.
Okay. Right, elongation. You guys were there. You're like, he's elongated. But I see Z. He's elongated.
Yeah.
You're there. You were there. He has some of the most kind of up energy I've seen of a VIZ politician.
That's so funny. Just because like the perk ups that he was doing, like sometimes it reminded me of things like a Nijai.
Yeah, he had a lot of it.
Yeah.
He kind of reminded me of a Ralph Nader. If Ralph Nader was like high on knee. Take a knee Mickey. All right, well, that is our time for today. I don't want to run too much over here so Jolene can do what she needs to do. Okay, I will see you guys all for our various sessions throughout the week. Have a great night.
All right.
Nice job.
Good night, guys.
All right.
Good night.